Hey, good morning. Hello, everyone, and welcome to OneTake, a 15-minute interview series with InsurTech executives brought to you by InsurTech Denver. This is a unique series in that there are no edits and no do-overs. I am Mark Wheeler, co-founder of InsurTech Denver, and with us today is Melissa Eaton, Vice President of Pi Insurance. Welcome, and we appreciate you joining us today and for your support of InsurTech Denver.
Thank you. I appreciate it. If I would have known there were no do-overs, I might have rethought this. So,
well, that's it. You take us as you get us some days.
okay. All right. All right.
Wonderful. Well, let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, Pi Insurance has offices in Denver and Washington, D.C. Now, tell us about Pi and how the company is positioned in the insurance industry and the segments it supports.
Pi started about 3 years ago. We are very new and we're really excited about the growth and opportunity that we have in the small business sector. So we currently are mainly focused on workers' compensation. And we have our offices, like you said, in DC as well as in Denver. Our biggest footprint is in the Denver area. We have an office space that accommodates over 200 people. But because of COVID and because of the pandemic, we definitely have grown our team and we've actually doubled in size. So we're over 300 pioneers. And a good cohort of those pioneers are remote. And we have really kind of leaned into that. We know that that's really important. And it's also been a great opportunity for us to do everything we can to serve those small business owners. So we're really excited. And Pi is, like I said, continuing to grow. And we are looking forward to what the future will bring.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, that's exciting. Well, congratulations
Thank
to
you.
all of your efforts. I know that there was news of some funds being brought in and all of that. So we'll get to that in a little bit as well. Now, you are a seasoned executive in the insurance space. You're currently at Pi, insurance, Mercury. How has the industry changed since you entered the insurance world?
One of the things, okay, this is going to date me. So I've been in insurance for about 15 years. And one of the things I've noticed just across the board in terms of customer experience, and I think this goes across all industries, is just the savviness of the customer. And what I mean by that is now the customer has so many choices. They want everything immediately. I know that if any of you have kids, you understand this, that they think that everything happens like immediately on their phone. And so we really have to be aware of what the customer's needs are and requirements are and really look to the future of how are we going to meet those needs in the best way possible. So I think one of the things that I've seen in the insurance world is that insurance was always one of those things that I think was very hard to explain. It was a little complicated. Wasn't always anyone's favorite. It still isn't. When you're not sure you're ever going to have to use it. And then there are legal implications, like you have to have insurance. So people, it's not the favorite of everyone, let's just say. So how we make it as simple and easy as possible, because when you think about who we're competing with in a customer experience perspective, you're competing with everyone. So we're competing with all of the different applications that you have on your smartphone today and all of the different user experiences you have. And so the personalization, response time, simple and easy to use. I don't want to really have to think about it more than just set it and forget it. And then access, and I think accessibility. So comparison shopping is way, way more complex and actually like I said, more savvy today, and people can just go on the internet and they can start shopping around. So again, I think that at one time you were really only competing with maybe the agent down the street, right? You drove by them, or the agent was your daughter's soccer coach, something
Right.
like that. And now you're competing with everyone in the world when you just type it into Google and you look up car insurance or workers' comp or small business insurance. And so It's been a very, very challenging time. And I think one of the things that's been hard is that in the insurance industry, it's very structured and it's been here for a long time. Workers' comp is one of the oldest insurance types in the country. And so having to think about things in a little different way because the tastes of your consumer have changed is really a difficult kind of thing to do. And so we're trying to manage that through a regulated world in industry. You know, you've got compliance and, you know, state DOI and all these kinds of things. And so again, it's been a challenge, but it's been really exciting because it's exciting to see what we can bring to the table.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you for that. That's really helpful. Now, I want to kind of add on to that question and shift it
Mhm.
a little bit. So we talked about the industry and how that has changed. How has the industry changed for women? I know that you're recognized as one of those leaders in the insurance industry. So tell us about that.
Well, I think that what's really important is that I really think that as a woman leader and as a person of color, it's really important for me to show up every day so that I'm a great example to everyone else about what it looks like from my perspective and how I can share that with others. One of the things that I really talk to, and I think it's important from a leadership perspective to understand, is that you really need to have confidence in yourself and know that you deserve a place at the table. I think in the insurance world, it's a lot of similar looking people. I will say a lot of I tease our exec team ourselves, right? It's like 50-year-old white guys. And I always laugh. I always tease them because I've walked into boardrooms where everyone was wearing a blue Oxford and khakis. And I walked in a red dress or whatever I had on. It doesn't even matter what I had on, but I didn't have that on. And I'll laugh and I'll say, oh, I didn't get the memo. Like I didn't know that was what we were going to be doing. But I think it's more than just that. It's more that there are so many opportunities. And one of the things I love about Pi and InsurTech is really the idea around uh, women in tech, right? And women's really like showing up in a lot of different ways. And so I think that what I want to do is be able to show a great example of how I've been able to integrate all of my experiences, all of the things I've learned, and really share it with the world. And so whether you're a woman or you're a man, whether you're a person of color or not, whether you're young or old, right? Whether you have experience in this field or not, you're bringing something unique to the table. And so let's celebrate that. And I think the more perspectives we have and the more experiences we bring, we get to a better integrated solution and elegant solution. So those are the kinds of things that I'm always trying to share and mentor others to do. And it's been really exciting for me. Moving back to Colorado, I was gone for a very long time, for over 20 years. I was gone, and I was a Better Scholar when I was in high school, college. And I came back and I started mentoring Better Scholars. And I have to say, I just love the energy and the perspective of these scholars, and especially the women who are just doing fantastic things. Like I actually building rockets, and for Lockheed Martin, all these kinds of things. And I'm just like, wow, and it's so great to see them not feel like they have to worry about being a woman or being somebody younger or being somebody that is of color, right? That's not what they're thinking about, their capabilities. And so what I really want to focus on is that we all have capabilities. We all have traits and competencies that can really lend to, like I said, a really diverse landscape. So that's what I focus on when I talk to my team.
Well, that's great. Thank you for that perspective. I think it's a whole topic that we could talk about
Yes,
at another time, right? So let me move to another question. Your former company, Insurance, was on the leading edge of direct-to-consumer distribution. How different is that to the commercial side and the work that you're doing in Pi with small businesses?
I think it's interesting because I think that when I was at Esurance, one of the challenges we faced was similar to the challenge that we faced in the small business sector. It's probably a little more relevant in small business because one of the things that we know is that we really do want to go direct to the small business owner, but we're also recognizing that the small business owner sometimes doesn't have time, right? And so a lot of them go through these agents and agencies, right, to get all of their needs met from a small business perspective, right? If my dream is to open, get a coffee cart at Union Station, that's amazing, but I don't really know, what do I need? What do I need to protect my employees? What do I need to protect my cart? What happens if it's too hot of coffee or whatever, so those are the kinds of things an agent can really help with, is the whole landscape. Now, what we have to do then is really lean into those partnerships with those valued agents. And so we at Pi have really recognized that. And so we really are looking to continue to grow those partnerships. We're really actually so excited about the partners that we have brought on board and who we're working with currently. This year, we brought on ADP, which is a payroll partner, which is huge for us. And that's been a fantastic relationship. And again, we're looking to those kinds of relationships to build out that really kind of allow us to touch all different sectors of that small business owner world.
Oh, that's terrific. Yeah, no, that's really interesting. There's some parallels in it. There are
Yes.
a lot of differences too.
Right.
Now, we've talked about the company, but we haven't talked directly about your role. So what role do you have formally at Pi, and how do you engage within the organization?
So I really look at my role as everything post sale. So that's a lot. So, when we talk about customer success, we're really talking about customer experience in different moments of truth. So, the first moment of truth is when you make the sale, right? And you grab the customer. Yay, very exciting. But then the other moments of truth are when you actually use the policy, right? And so I manage the customer success team, and we deal with all things policy related, any changes, any billing issues, any certificates of insurance. That's a workers' comp term that has a lot. It's similar to like your ID card, your
Sure.
for car insurance. And I also really, we focus on the audit. So there's a premium audit. So in workers' comp, we actually, your policy is based on your forecasted premium, forecasted payroll. And so that at the end of your policy period, we actually go in and ask you for payroll documents sometimes and things like that to make sure that it all marries up. And then we make adjustments either way, right? COVID was a tough year, so there were a lot of people that closed their business for a certain amount of time. So some of those folks may be getting refunds that are credits back, or they did really well. We had that happen too, which was a little astonishing, but really exciting. And they did really well during the pandemic. And so they actually owe us some money because their payroll was higher than they expected. The other team that I have is the claims team, which, obviously that's what we're here for. We're here to protect your employees and make sure that your injured workers get back to work immediately. And then last but not least is operational excellence, which is really about continuous improvement, transformational experiences and processes. We're really looking to lean into automation, that digital experience, and meeting the customer where they want to be met. So really a big market. I try to integrate the processes and operations so that I'm working constantly with our product team. I'm working with the compliance team. We're working with the claims team and TPA. So it's a big relationship builder role. That's the best way for me to say.
No, that's terrific. Well, thank you for that, because you always, you wonder, you have a title sometimes, and it's like, well, what does that really mean?
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing all of that. Well, we're done with kind of the formal side of it for this
Okay.
morning. So let's jump into the fun part. So these are just a series of rapid questions. Whatever first comes into your mind, go ahead and share that with the audience today. So your favorite color?
Green.
All right. Last takeout meal?
Last night, pizza and shells from Little Richie's.
All right, there we go. A music instrument you play or you would like to play?
Okay, well, I play the piano, not well. And I say that because my entire family are pianists. My middle daughter actually went to Berklee College of Music as a classical pianist. So again, I say I play the piano, I can play one song, The Entertainer. That's my repertoire.
All right. Well, that sounds like some high standards there within the
Yes.
family, a little bit of pressure.
Yes.
So are you a coffee or tea person?
Coffee.
Talking about music, jazz, classical, or rock?
Uh, all of the above. All of the above. Yes.
Now, do you consider yourself a detailed person or an abstract person in your thinking?
I think I'm a great strategist, so I am abstract. And as my husband says, I round and estimate a lot on the details. So he finds that funny that I'm in insurance and that I do that a lot. I'm like, it's kind of that much. It's like, that's not helpful.
All right. Now, do you believe in coincidence?
100%.
How about fate?
Yes.
All right.
I feel I actually tell this story a lot when I meet people, is that I feel like how I landed in insurance and actually at Pi is very serendipitous. And that one of the things that I have found is that all of my experiences, which seemed very fragmented and disconnected over the course of my career, have kind of come together in this one role. So I feel like that is serendipity. You know, my first
Wow.
job was managing 51 truck drivers. So I was like,
A
how is
little
this going
different.
to help me? And now now we're looking at broadening our scope of business lines into commercial auto. And I'm like, hey, guess what? I used to manage truck drivers. I understand this.
That's right. Very good. Well, a final question for you. If your life were made into a movie, what genre would it be? Would it be a comedy, a drama, a documentary, action, adventure, science fiction? What do you think?
I think it would be most interesting as both a comedy and a documentary.
Okay.
I think that would be it.
Very good. Well, Melissa, thank you so much
Thank
for your time
you.
today. It's been wonderful. That's a wrap, and we are done. So signing off.
Appreciate it.